My name is Catherine Miles, and I was born in a little desert farming community where my grandma taught me to sew when I was 4. When I was 12, I designed and made my first wedding dress for a bride who, she really liked my doll designs, and that was a good little boost for my career. When my father was killed in a farming accident, my mom and I moved to Western Oregon, and that's where I started repurposing old dresses from vintage stores for girls in my town. And 3 years ago, I started my business, Kate's Couture. Since then, I've traveled around the US producing for a set stylist. I co-designed some costumes for a marketing video, and last fall I was featured as Portland Fashion Week's emerging designer. And through that, I actually got to travel to Vancouver, BC to show 16 of my designs in Vancouver Fashion Week. That led to some really good press with Vogue UK and Elle Hong Kong.
Hey guys, welcome to Everiathing. Today our guest is a 16-year-old fashion designer, and you will not believe this, she started using the sewing machine when she was 4 years old. Oh my goodness, that is super talented. And if you've been watching us for a while now, or if you remember our awards night, you might recognize that one of our previous guests, Miss Matrea Scarvinier, was, sporting this beautiful purple dress, which was made by our guest that's going to be joining us today. It's a super special guest as well, since she's all the way from Oregon and our very first American guest on the show. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 16-year-old Kate Miles. Hi Kate, how are you?
I'm doing great, how are you?
I am good, thank you. I really like your jacket, I love the whole thing going on with the shoulders. That's super cool. So I know that you are a fashion designer, of course, and a lot of the things that I've seen that you've created on your website and social media and stuff, they're all really, really unique and very beautiful. Where do you find the inspiration for your designs?
Color and light is kind of like a language to me. I look at the fabric and I'll feel it, and it just kind of speaks to me. I'll get this design in my head, and it's not really that I have a set style. I just kind of look at the fabric and it gives me the inspiration, I think.
That's cool. So when you see it, you can already see everything playing together in your mind. That's really cool. Now I know that you started sewing at 4 years old, and can you tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to start sewing at such a young age, while most kids who were that young were just playing around in playgrounds and things like that?
I grew up on a farm, and so really small town, rural area. So I guess you could look at the town as kind of, take it back 50 years. You still got the cooking and sewing is little young girls, that's what you learn to do. And so when I was a little bit young to be farming at 4, my older brothers were off driving the tractors and stuff. And so while my family was all working in the fields, I'd go over to my grandma's. And my grandma in the community, that's what she does, is she teaches sewing. It's a 4-H program that we have. And she decided that my legs were almost long enough to reach the pedals. Nothing that a couple of books and a footstool couldn't help. And so I started sewing on paper first, and then pot holders, quilting, and that just escalated into what I do now.
Yeah. What's crazy is that from, doing papers, and when you were 6 years old, you made your first dress. And I mean, to anyone who would know anything about sewing, or even me, I don't know that much about sewing, but my mom sewed before, that making dresses aren't easy, right? Because you got different patterns going on the top and bottom. And I want to know a little bit more about what it was like making your first dress at 6 years old. Can you describe maybe what it looked like, how you put it together, like the whole experience about creating it all?
Yeah, so I started, the first dress I made was a doll dress, and I basically followed the pattern. My whole life, I've just had this thing about, I can't really make myself follow a pattern exactly, just because I feel like, it's been done before. That's somebody else's design. I don't want to mess it up, or I like to put my new spin on things if I'm going to take the time to sit down and do a whole dress. The process was extremely frustrating. I threw away so many of the things that I first started. I would get so discouraged and like, oh, I'll never be able to do anything with this. When can I learn how to do it right? And so really, I didn't start getting encouraged with it until I was probably in 4th or 5th grade. That's when I started getting my basic construction down a little bit better.
That's really cool, though. I mean, I'm still blown away until now by the fact that you started when you were 4 years old. Oh my goodness, that's so scary. You have needles and a sewing machine. Tell me a little bit more about a couple other things that you've created as a fashion designer. I know that you said it's kind of difficult to make hats. Not this. This isn't going to pressure you, by the way. It's just total coincidence that I'm wearing this. But tell me a little bit more about why it's so challenging to make hats.
It's I'm very fascinated in the millinery, and I think it's something I'd like to get into more later. But right now, I feel like if I take on one more thing, I'm just going to explode. Like, oh, hats! I'm going to do hats now. Then I'll probably decide, oh, I want to do jewelry. And I just have so many other things that I'm doing that I've kind of made myself, okay, you can't do that right now. You got this and this and this you got to learn about first. But I think that because it's if you see someone with a hat on, that's the first thing you notice. And so it's such a eye-catching, they're wearing a hat. So everything has to be symmetrical for the most part, very balanced. Everything has to be cut, and it's very precise. A dress, if one side's half an inch off, it's not really a big deal. But hats is much more precise.
I should straighten that out a bit. I'm just kidding. All right, so aside from your grandmother, did you have any other training in sewing? Like, did you ever go to any formal classes for it, or?
I am pretty much self-taught. A lot of trial and error, years of trial and error. I had to just know that it would get better, and that eventually, the more that I try and the more that I fail, there's gotta work out eventually.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit more about maybe what is the hardest dress that you've ever created, and why was it so challenging for you?
This summer I got commissioned to make a wedding dress, and it's one of I've made several other wedding dresses, but this one was different because she had a lot of her own opinions. But she also had other people that would come over and say, oh, no, we need to do it this way now. So I had to remake the dress a few different times. And she had a figure that I had never worked with the certain shape before. And so it was challenging. When she first commissioned the dress, I was like, ooh, this will be a challenge. I'm going to do this. It'll be great. I'll stretch myself so much. But while I was making the dress, I was like, okay, stretching a little too much at this point. But I got the dress done after several days and lots of tugging at the hair a little bit, but I got it done.
That's awesome, especially a wedding dress. That's a really, really big accomplishment. So congrats to you. Ooh. All right, that's pretty awesome. When I'm like super old, because I'm not going to get married for a long time, I want you to design my dress. That's not too much to ask, of course.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Totally. I mean, you guys are going to see in a little bit some of her designs that she brought in today. And she brought in this ballerina dress, the white one. Oh my God, it's so pretty. I saw that and I was like, I found my future wedding dress designer. Hi. So speaking of, the dresses that you brought in, they're really like, girly and enchanting. I like picture fairy tales when I see them. Would you say that, fairy tale style or generally what style do you think makes you well known for your dresses?
I like my clients to step into their dress, and I like it when they can go back in their mind to when they were 5 years old, twirling in their princess dress. So I like to kind of keep it kind of girly, enchanting, like you said, but also bring some maturity into it. So it's like, yeah, I'm in a princess dress, but I can actually wear this and not look like I'm 5 years old. And so I like the femininity. And I also like to bring in some bold and maybe some more edgy aspects as well. Keep a good balance.
Yeah. So feel like a princess, look like a queen.
Yes.
Exactly. So in the fashion industry, what a lot of people do take note of is that to completely finish an outfit most of the time, sometimes you'll have to accessorize or with your jacket, right, have something that really pops out, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think is the best accessory and what is your favorite accessory?
I think that an accessory that can really make something stand out is as simple as it is. I think a belt. I think a belt can really make or break an outfit. There's so many different routes you can go. Do you want to go metallic? Do you want to go thick, thin? Do you want feathers, rosettes? It's such a, because it's in the center of your body, it's such a focal point. Mm-hmm. And it can also be a great tool to accentuate your waist and really draw in some very attractive lines as well. And I think other accessories can do that too, but I'd have to say the belt's my favorite.
Nice. Plus to keep your pants up.
Yeah, that's
always a plus. I know that you were in Portland Fashion Week and you won the, was it Upcoming Designer Award? Emerging Designer. Oh, close enough. Tell me a little bit more about that award, how you got it, and when the Fashion Week was.
Yeah, so last summer, I got an email from a friend. They sent me a link to this competition, and they're like, hey, I think you should try it. And, I was 15-year-old self, and I was thinking, well, I don't even know what I had for breakfast, let alone if I want to be a fashion designer. Like, I've been doing fashion design, but in my mind, I was just playing.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know fashion designer, what is that? And so I was like, well, maybe I'll want to be a fashion designer someday. But I think this would be a really good practice to get my portfolio together, see what a competition, how it runs and everything, not expecting anything out of it.
Yeah.
And so I sent in my application and I was like, oh, that was fun. I'm glad I did that. And then I kind of shut it out of my mind. Then a month later, I got this email in caps. It was like, congratulations. And I was like, ooh, I got a trip to the Bahamas. Scam, hooray. But no, they had sent me the email saying that I had won the competition and I was able to show 6 looks at Portland Fashion Week, the upcoming October 4th. So I was very excited. And I rushed back to my studio and got some things put together. I took some things that I already made and vamped them up a little bit. And I was able to get everything done in time, which was good. And it was an amazing experience.
That's awesome. So expand a little bit more on the different looks that you created, especially, hurrying them in for deadlines.
Yeah.
How many looks in particular did you have to create for the entire week, and how are you able to, crunch them all into that time?
Yeah, so the Emerging Designer competition the package kind of came with a gift certificate. I got some custom sunglasses, which were really cool. Nice. And I also got 6 models and 6 looks, hair and makeup, everything all included. So because it was my first fashion show that was official, I'd done a few other things just locally, but this is my first real one, so I wanted to keep it pretty simple. And I was starting college and had other things going on, so I didn't want to stress myself out. But I had the 6 looks, and basically I didn't make I made a few things from scratch, but I focused on some of the things that I already had done. Just to, I had made them in the spring, and so I thought they'd be great for the fall show because it's showcasing spring looks.
So you're talking about your models and how they had, head to toe and everything. And I'm sure at such a young age, you're so accomplished. You've probably done a bunch of different fashion shows now. Do you have a steady set of models when you're showing off your art, your work, or do you normally just, get people depending on where the venue is?
You can, depending on the scale of the show also. Like if I'm gonna host a fashion show locally, then I generally try to choose local models, and that's kind of on me to find the models. But if you're affiliated with an official fashion week or something of that scale, then they'll provide the hair and makeup, the models, all of that. All you have to do is generally there's a set fee that you pay, and you go to a fitting, you come the day of the show with your looks, get them on the models, and that's really all that you have to do. You just get to celebrate fashion and have a good time. So,
pick them out and go, okay, we're ready to go.
Yep.
Exactly. So during Fashion Week, which is super exciting because now the more I talk about it, the more I actually want to go to it. But during Fashion Week, what would you say are the top 5 things that someone should do if they're visiting any type of Fashion Week?
Definitely dress up. You can't go to Fashion Week not dressing up, because really West Coast, Pacific Northwest, we don't have a lot that we dress up for. You go to a wedding, you can wear jeans if you want to, probably, as much as I hate that. But so dress up. You can get your nails done if you want to feel real fancy, but bring a camera or have your phone ready to take lots of pictures. Definitely keep track of your favorite designers. Look them up on Instagram, support them. They're there for you and they want to meet you. Don't be afraid if you see your designer you like walking by. Go out there and meet them, because that's why they're there. They want to meet you. They want to talk about fashion. They want to see what you're wearing. Ask them about what they're wearing. Just kind of take the time that you're there to enjoy it.
Nice. That's some good advice. I'll make sure to keep that in mind. So as a designer, do you have any guidelines that you think designers or models should follow when it comes to, displaying different types of designs on the runway?
I heard from one of the models that a designer they walked for gave every model a piece of chocolate before they walked down the runway. And I have picked that up because I think it is genius. Because a lot of the models walk out there, and to be honest, they look kind of scary. They're kind of glaring. Yeah. I don't think that's the best way to show off a dress. If that's what the designer has envisioned for their collection, and it's artistic, I can understand. But with me, I'm selling dresses that are flirty and fun, and I think the girls should look happy and like they want to be there. They want to be wearing the dress. They want to talk to people. I think they should be inviting, and I think that's the best way that they can really show off the dress. If they look happy and confident, then the dress is going to look so much better.
Totally. It's all about how you carry yourself before carrying anything else, right? Completely amazing. I remember the first time that I heard about you and the first time that I actually met you was at the awards night. And Maitreya was telling me how, she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, you won't believe it. The girl who designed my dress for tonight, oh my God, she's only like 16, 15 years old. Oh, she's so young, she's amazing. And then I was like, wow, I need to meet this girl. And it was so beautiful. And so let's say that you had a client who was going up to you and they were also going to an awards night. Mm-hmm. And let's say that their 2 options was something that was in theme for the awards night, but maybe didn't necessarily look good on them, and then the other one, it wasn't in theme, but it looked amazing on them. What would you advise them to wear?
You could just pick what you're comfortable in, and maybe you can add in something small, a small little detail, a belt, a hat, a scarf, something that ties you into the theme. It's really easy to do that, rather than wear something that you aren't going to feel confident in, that you're not going to just feel pretty and special in. I think it's much more important to be happy.
Totally, be fashionable, but kind of like put your own person into it.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So lastly, what are the biggest challenges that you think you face as one of the youngest designers right now?
A big challenge is that I am still in high school and that I haven't been to get a fancy education yet. I'm really looking forward to it. I think about it all the time. I'm so excited to go and learn how everything is done right. Everything that I've done has just been, like I said, trial and error. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and it's really discouraging. So I think being uneducated as far as everything that I'm going to learn at fashion school is my biggest challenge right now.
Totally. So do you have any upcoming events coming up, or is there going to be any opportunity again that we might see you here again in Vancouver?
In the spring, I'm hoping to come back to Vancouver for another show. I will have to check with my school schedule and everything to make sure that works out. But I love Vancouver. I'm gonna try and come as much as I can, see how many excuses I can get to get up here. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that I've been invited to some shows, and it's just depending on school, because I have to put that first right now, unfortunately.
Totally. Well, I'm glad that you were able to make it out here today with us. I mean, I'm so extremely honored. So would you mind telling our audience out there where we can find you online on social media? And of course, if anyone has any inquiries about, booking you for something.
Sure. So I have my website. It's just catescouture.squarespace.com. There's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff, which can easily be accessed from my link/shop page on the website, or Facebook is just Kate's Couture. My studio is located in Oregon, but I can easily ship things or do things over Skype as well, as far as measurements and all of that. So it's pretty easy.
Yay! Awesome. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Kate Miles. We'll be back with this young fashionista after the break, so stay tuned and keep watching Everiathing. Hey guys, welcome back. So Kate, here on Everything, we have this thing called Quick Fire. I'm gonna ask you 15 questions and you have to say the first thing that comes to mind within 45 seconds. But real quick, I have a fashion related joke for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
What are Mario's favorite pants?
I don't know, Rhea.
Dun, 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 dun. That's so bad it was good. Okay, Quick Fire, are we ready for the timer, princess?
In 3, 2, 1.
Color you don't want to work with.
Color?
Yeah.
Yellow.
Most practical color.
Blue.
Mustard yellow or pea green?
Green.
5 items in your purse.
Lip balm, money, scissors, needle and thread.
Color or texture?
Texture.
Favorite Disney princess?
Sleeping Beauty.
Favorite fashion theme?
Artistic.
Best fashion season?
Spring.
Favorite model?
Rhea.
Oh, thank you! Polka dots or checks?
Polka dots.
Favorite movie?
Sleeping Beauty.
Favorite type of music for a catwalk?
20s.
One piece or two piece?
I was bad at that.
That's okay. We'll just finish off the last 3. 1 piece or 2 piece bikini?
2 piece.
Boots or heels?
Heels.
And 2 important things that a model must bring to a photo shoot.
Her beautiful face and some food.
That's what I would have said. All right, so I see that you've brought a couple of your amazing stuff here today. So would you mind maybe showing them off to the camera and also explaining a little bit about what it is and what it was made for and stuff like that?
Sure. So a couple of things I brought. I am just finishing up for Portland Fashion Week. Don't even have the buttons on them yet. But I will show them to you because it's a little sneak peek of what will be at Portland Fashion Week. A few other things that I have here are from Vancouver Fashion Week, and they've been in a couple different shows also, but I'll start with... So this dress is called the Waltz, and it's got kind of this green silk over the top of some really wild print that I've had sitting in my closet for probably about 6 years. And I really hated it and really loved it at the same time. So I figured I'd hold on to it, and I'm glad I did because I really like it under the green, because it just gives a little bit more dimension to it. I also have some faux fur on top with floral pattern that's kind of ruched in the middle. It kind of accentuates your waist with the ruching. It's got this belt that goes like so here, because I have a thing about belts, as you now know. And the back laces up, and it's you can have a crinoline under it and be really fancy if you want, or you can dress it down. That's what I like about it. It's a little bit more versatile.
Super fairy tale. That's what I love about your stuff.
Thanks.
Oh, my favorite.
I designed this dress for Coupe Couture show in Vancouver, Washington. And it was especially for a ballerina who was going to be dancing at the start of the show. And I was really thinking about, okay, what do I like about the ballerina? And I think it's so cool to watch their legs. So I wanted something that would be long and flowy, but still that you'd be able to see their legs move. And so it's got kind of the sheer overskirt, and then it's got all of these petals with hand-sewn beads on the end that kind of sparkle in the lights. And the top has got a lot of hand sewing, some vintage lace, a lot of repurposed fabrics in this dress. And then that's the back.
Yeah, I love the top. So pretty.
All the fabrics that I use are from either repurposed garments or end of the bolt sales from a store I go to in Portland. That everything is just the end of the bolt from factories and warehouses. It's not really going to be used for anything else. So you can go and at a discounted price, you can get it and still make it into something that's new and wearable. So it's all very sustainable, eco-friendly, and I like that it's got some new stories for old fabric. I like that. I'm kind of going to try to start branching out. As I've started to learn about pattern making a little bit, I'm going to go a little bit more into the couture / ready-to-wear. So I started playing around with some shorts and pants patterns. And this is a pair of high-waisted shorts that I made that has a top that goes with it that buttons onto the side, and it's got kind of a lapel that goes with it. And these pants I actually made to go with this jacket, but I'm too short to be a model. So luckily I can wear the jacket, can't wear the pants, but I can show you still. Goes kind of like so. And those are the looks that I have with me today.
Lovely. Wow, they're so pretty. Oh my gosh, I wish my closet was filled with all of these. All right, so we're gonna just get ready for our workshop real quick, but stay tuned and keep watching. So as you can see, I did a dramatic costume change into one of Kate's works, which by the way, thank you. And so it's workshop time, and our first workshop is called Give Me That Look. So basically, Kate and I are going to be pretending to be modeling for a photo shoot, and we don't have the bags today, but this tin can is just as intimidating as those bags. We have a bunch of different real-life situations in here that we have to reenact, but in a model-y pose. So we're each going to take turns and try our best to use these situations and model them out as a professional model would for the camera. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to
I
go
think
first?
you should go first.
Okay. All right, way to put the spot on me. Okay. Let's see, what does this one say? Maybe we should stand
You're
for
the
this.
one that's sparkling.
Oh, you really need to go to the washroom but are stuck in a very long line. Okay. Sachet. Wait, maybe you need to knock me, right? Because you really need to.
You are trying to cross the street and a car suddenly passes by you.
You are literally running late to work and you remember that you forgot your office keys. Oh, my keys. Oh, no, I need to look more shocked.
You are listening to a speech and are very, very bored.
I love it. You're having a very bad hair day. I'm so sorry, princess.
You're going through terrible stomach pain.
Alrighty, so our next workshop is called Highlighting the Dress. So I am an amateur model that's going to be showcasing Kate's work of art, as you can see. And I'm very dependent on my fresh-faced designer to teach me how to pose for the camera.
Okay, I want you to sit down. And I want this leg over there. No, the other leg. I want the knee down. Yes, but I want the shoulder rolled back. Yes, like that. Okay, maybe with it a little bit more forward. And head a little bit higher, chin a little bit higher. Yes, maybe you better. Okay, I want really serious. And the shoulder a little more this way. That's good. Maybe cross your, yeah, that's good. I think that's what we want, right?